Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Parenting the Clay Way. I'm John Clay with my son Jack Clay today. And, of course, as always,
Travis
McCabe from Green Bean Coffee. Thanks, Travis. It was nice that we had an opportunity to interview Jack today. I thought we should try to do it.
Absolutely.
My idea was that, parents don't Jack is particularly vocal, and so we'll hopefully see that he can do that. And he'll answer most questions, pretty straightforward. So I was thinking maybe we could cover some topics that, parents would love to get some insight into what a 9-year-old thinks. Yeah. So I want you to make sure you're not too far away from the mic. So is that cool with you, Jack? We're going to talk about the dreaded homework, right?
Exactly. Just read my mind. I'm like, it needs theme music.
So one of the problems lately is that starting school, you've sort of been loaded on with a lot of homework, particularly English and math are the two areas that seem to have the most. And you haven't been particularly good in doing your classwork in class, writing down what your homework is, getting your homework done, and you've also been deceitful often about, hey, I don't have homework, and actually you do, right?
Right.
So we've been trying to deal with all those things, and I think we're making some progress.
Right.
So first off, let's talk about your homework. How would you describe homework? If someone had no idea what it is, what's your best way of describing what it's like to have homework? Somebody that's never had it before, doesn't even know what school is. What's it like to get homework?
Some people have different opinions. Sometimes you like homework. Sometimes you don't.
Mm-hmm. But I want to know you.
Okay. I like homework.
Really? Are you just saying that for the camera? Because
No.
if you liked it, then what's causing you to ditch it so much?
Usually Minecraft, video games, that kind of stuff.
So distractions.
Mm-hmm.
You would much, even though you are okay with homework at times, there's other things that are much more interesting and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the general idea? Okay. And what about Travis? Why don't you weigh in? Any questions or curiosity about what this homework means?
You know what? I have to agree with Jack. It's a struggle. I know even as a grown adult, when you have to take work home, there's stuff that we really, really want to do and we know it needs done. I'm guilty as much as he is of being distracted at times, whether it's catching up on an episode of The Office, which is one of my guilty pleasures, or, just trying to, I got tomorrow and I'll get it done, and I think Jack, don't feel bad. You're not out of the norm. And we all get there,
So, but you're a business owner,
right.
And what we tell Jack is that, look, when you get to be an adult, we all have those kind of obligations, right. And if you skip them, what are the repercussions? Travis, what happens when you don't do the things that have to be done, but you just don't feel like it?
Right. And you know what? Let's give you an example. Today, I had to do payroll today for my employees. I did it first thing in the morning because I knew throughout the day I was going to be busier. If I didn't do it throughout this morning, if I didn't do my homework, chances are I would have had a bunch of people pretty mad at me because they didn't get paid. So, it's one of those things where it's one of those must-do things, School is school, and, there's always time to do it. A lot of times I realized whenever I was younger, homework didn't really take me that long. It was just getting into it and doing it. Once I sat down, I'd blow through it quick, and I was like, oh, that was fine. And I still had all the rest of the evening to do things.
Yeah.
It's just that initial kind of kick in the butt that I needed to kind of get myself motivated to do it. And, there's always things that we'd rather do other than, but, sooner we get the things done, the more we got to the day of ourselves so we can do whatever we want.
Right.
What do you think would motivate you most to actually do the homework, Jack, or do the work that you need? Has anything come up that seems to make it fun or interesting or make you want to do it?
What I would say is take away the video games and when you...
He's been coached, I think.
I was like, wow.
It's all recorded for evidence, too.
Yeah, we're going to play this back, This is going to be on repeat loop. So, but you agree because okay, that's what we do in our house, is that you basically lose some privileges, and it's not like you have so many privileges. One of them is you get to play Minecraft, and there's also some watching of movies or shows sometimes. So I don't allow you, as long as you're behind, I don't allow you to play Minecraft,
Right.
really, for the most part. So this is the way it is, and that, I know it kind of stinks, but so you think that that's something that works? It's effective in motivating you to get to actually do your homework.
Right.
Okay. So what makes you feel like, hey, you know what, this isn't so bad? I kind of like this. Or is there anything that comes across? What kind of homework, or what does it take to make homework more enjoyable?
Well, I mean,
Don't you ever have fun doing homework? Yeah. And what's an example of something that's fun for you?
well, sometimes when I'm doing math with either with one of my parental guardians,
Parental guardians? You mean parents?
yes.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I just said. Go ahead.
I think it's a lot more fun to do it with my parents.
Yeah. As opposed to other adults or whatever. And why do you enjoy doing it with your parents? Because I can tell you, it's not always enjoyable for me to do it with you. And you know why? Because I get frustrated because you might be really sort of obstinate, which is like, you're just kind of like resistant about doing stuff, or, just digging in there and getting it done. You'll kind of get really distracted or whatever. Like sometimes it can be frustrating for me. What makes it enjoyable for you to do homework with me? Why do you like that?
Mostly because I get to spend a special time with you.
Right. So that's a key, isn't it? Doesn't really matter what we're doing together, as long as we're doing it together. And so even homework, even math, is okay if you're doing it with Dad, and Mom too, right? So, did you find that, Travis, with your kids, that there was times that there was that going on, and that you felt like, hey, this is pretty cool?
Yeah, wasn't usually over homework, but every second counts. It really does. Whether it is homework or whether you're, yard work. My boy, he went through martial arts, and just practicing different things with that. To even now, my son Adrian, he's had some struggles with math last year, and we would sit down and go through, basics of algebra and things like that he was going through that he wasn't sure with, which, I enjoyed that, and, it was just sitting down and just having those one-on-one moments where you do have a connection, you're helping them along the way. And, at the end of the day, you see the fruits of your labor through testing and stuff like that. You're like, you got it.
Yeah.
It is. It's awesome.
And it is frustrating sometimes that the homework that they do now is not what we used to do,
True
particularly
story.
in math, where they're testing to this certain type of test, and they're doing it in a way they want to show work in a way that I don't recognize in these graphs and by
Right.
tens and these certain things. And so I feel, number one, I'm barely struggling, and he's only in 4th grade, and I'm barely struggling to go, okay, wait a minute, I can piece this together, but barely.
Right.
And but then again, it makes me learn. So we're kind of at the same level in a sense, which is kind of nice.
Wait for Jeff Foxworthy to show up. Are you smarter than a 5th
Yeah.
grader? And you're like, no, I'm not right
No,
now.
not anymore. Yeah. All right. So, any last thoughts? If you could talk to any parents out there who are interested to know how to get their kids to do homework, what do you suggest? Do you have any one or two good suggestions?
Well, it depends what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're playing video games and stuff, I would take that away until they get their homework done.
Right. Well, and you bring up a good point. Every solution isn't tailor-made for everybody. Like, you're going to have to change maybe what you do, and ultimately the idea is that you're giving the child a reward for good behavior. And so every child's going to have different ideas of what a reward is. And in some cases, it's just fun times hanging out or whatever. and I think that's a good idea. Is that each whatever you're going to have to try all kinds of different things, and as a child gets older, then you're going to have to alter things too. So that's a good idea. Let's see if there was any other last thing I was going to ask you about. If you could talk to any kids out there about what they should do to get through homework. Any good suggestion? How do you get through your homework?
Probably sit away from anything distracting.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So you're not like doing anything that keeps you from doing homework.
Right. Good. The answers are in there. It's just a matter of whether they come out or not. They come out on an interview, but they don't necessarily come out when you're
He's
at
like, I know what I need to
at
do,
the
and now let's see
dinner
what
table.
happens when I do it.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, thanks, Jack. We're gonna keep you around, and we're gonna do another show with you too about one of your favorite topics, which is video games. So we'll get to do that. All right. So our thanks to Travis McCabe,
Absolutely, sure thing.
talking about some great, cool stuff here about homework and how to get kids inspired. And we'll see you next time for another edition of Parenting the Clay Way.